In the following chapters, we will visit human settlements such as the Nueva Floresta, where the settlers struggle on a daily basis against the consequences of living in a shattered and violated jungle. We will discover where and why the jungle of our elders is bleeding to death. We will travel to the center of the Amazon volcano and together discover the motives for all the destruction since Europe settled in Brazilian lands, the province of Santa Cruz, as it was called then. In spite of its never-ending geography, we cannot deny that the Amazon is an injured giant that is getting weaker each year, faster than our hearts and pockets can assimilate. The lumber industries plunder almost always illegally a natural resource from which there is no return. And a few others empty the state treasury, wasting a resource that belongs only to the Brazilians. There's no doubt about it. Any ailment that besets this jungle will present its symptoms in the rest of the world. We will discover other patients whose ailment is cyclical. Gold fever, a human adventure filled with poison, romanticism, and disappointment, and that moves the will of thousands of Brazilians of the Amazonia. The Garimpeiros are direct heirs of the first explorers who searched for El Dorado. The year 2000 was the year of the 5th centennial, time measured by an ambiguous calendar which only counts for the victorious. The 23rd of April 1500, Pedro Álvares Cabral landed on the south of Bahia by chance when he was traveling towards Calcutta. He opened the eyes of the Western world to this great country, forgetting that it already had inhabitants. In Brasilia, beneath one of the clocks that commemorate the 5th centennial of the arrival of the Portuguese to Brazil, some of the most important indigenous leaders have met in council. Their thoughts and their words are worth being heard.
In 1500, we were approximately 5 million Indians, and today we are more or less 300,000. This clock marks the commemoration of centuries of contact with the white man. As a matter of fact, we have nothing to celebrate. After all, the progress of these cities, the nation of Brazil was all built on our sacrifice, on the blood of the Indians that lived here when the white man arrived. Therefore, Brazil could be a better country when it accepts that minority and accepts those cultural differences as something enriching, as something that can contribute to many fates, not only that of Brazil, but that of all mankind during the next centuries, during the next millenniums.
Two out of 3 Brazilian Indians live in the Amazonia Indigenous Reserves. They are 170,000 people that occupy a territory equivalent to that of almost 3 times Germany. A lot of land, as far as those who are against this, and also a lot for those who have to cross it every day. According to the Constitution, the indigenous people of Brazil have the same opportunities to get on the bandwagon of progress as the rest of the Brazilian citizens. In the 21st century, many Indians travel through the jungle by bus, although the cement is still a few centuries behind. The road to future is full of ditches. There are many ways of eliminating a race, and the white man has tried them all. There have always been Buffalo Bills willing to carry out ethnic cleansing. One of the chapters of this series will reveal one of the cruelest technical genocides, based simply on making life so impossible for an indigenous group that it decides to commit suicide. In this safety box in the Goeldi Museum, a priceless piece of Brazilian human history is kept. A quartz arrowhead that an Amazon hunter carved 9,000 years ago. Neither Columbus nor Cabral had been born yet. What is truly amazing is to see Indians today also sharpening their arrows. A forceful reality, as is the economic power of the Brazilian giant. The Paleolithic in the space age.
They're not poor folk. What you see here is all they need to survive. They're not wretched. All those that are unfamiliar with these indigenous people arrive here and say, "My God, they're so poor. My God, they're so wretched." Because they don't have cars, because they don't have television. That has nothing to do with their lives. They are happy that way, and that is the happiness that must be preserved until the moment there is contact, and that contact must be made by FUNAI, because the government is responsible. The government is responsible for the lives and deaths of those people and the pure state they live in.
Some episodes will take us closer to the deep sentiment of those that protect them, not without hard work. Like this person you have just met, Sidney Pozuelo, Director of the Department of Isolated Indians, or the FUNAI. As do all the children of the world, he cries when bathed by his mother. The Brazil of the samba, football, and Formula One is the immense site in which ethnic groups still remain isolated, a people indifferent to our paranoias. We will discover their habits and their customs. We will watch how they communicate with Mother Earth like no one else does, and live their lives peacefully with the dignity of those who are in their place. And the Zoayar, they are the masters of the world, human beings who will not leave you untouched once you have met them. The great hope in an Amazon planet that still maintains a strong amount of purity. The call of the Zoe will be the last call. Brazil celebrated the 5th centennial of the arrival of the Portuguese to their territory, but this man was already here 1,000 years before that. It is a skull that was found on the island of Maranhão, at the mouth of the river, the Amazon River. A skull that was painted red, which forms part of a funeral rite that speaks to us of a sophisticated and civilized culture. Throughout this program, we have seen how the Amazon River has been accompanied by mankind during thousands of years. We hope you will sign up with us on this priceless adventure through the Amazon planet, a planet that was inhabited, as we've said, before the existence of Shakespeare. To be or not to be. If you feel attracted by the call of the Amazonia, we'll be here waiting for you.